Hi, I'm Valerie, and I'm the lead of the stained glass studio here at Spark. I'm going to show you around the studio today. To find your way there, just follow this yellow stripe on the wall. Come with me. And on your way to the studio, if you need to hang up your coat or bag, you can do so right here. And here we are. The first thing you'll probably want to do is turn on the lights. The light switch can be found right here. There's another light switch right up at the front of the room by the door. Also by the light switch are two very important things. One is the first aid kit, and the other is the list of emergency and non-emergency numbers for you to call if the need arises. There's another light located right over the main work table. It's operated with this pull chain. Don't forget to turn off all the lights when you're leaving. So let's take a good look around. Right here you'll find on these three shelves lots of donated glass that you are entitled to use as a member of the studio. We only ask that you not store or hoard the glass for a project that you're not currently working on. Glass is a consumable, and when it gets used up, it gets used up. So we ask that you kindly give back when you are able by using our bright yellow box here. And here is where we keep the personal protective equipment. You'll find safety glasses here, masks here, and you'll find gloves right here on the wall and on the opposite side of the room right there. As you can see, there are 6 grinders in the studio. We have 3 on this side of the room and 3 on the opposite side of the room. They're operated by foot pedals on the floor. We ask that the grinder is always used full of water in the reservoir and that the sponge behind the grinder bit is fully saturated and contacting the bit. If you need to fill them with water, we keep water bottles nearby each grinder on both sides. If you ever find a water bottle that's not full, please feel free to fill it up using the utility sink next door in the electronics area, where we'll show you shortly. Here above the grinders is where you'll find the glass cutters. We're fortunate enough to have the highest quality Toyo glass cutters here in the studio, and we take good care of them. We do that by keeping them in these jars with the cutter wheel down, and always keep it in an oil-soaked cloth. In addition to the first aid kit by the light switch, we have Band-Aids located on 2 sides of the room on the upper shelves. There's also antibiotic ointment. Remember, this is a studio full of sharp glass. Here we have various jigs available for building candle holders, boxes, terrariums, and any other 3D construction you might want to create. There's pre-tinned copper wire here also for doing detail work and making hooks. It is a consumable and does get used up, so we ask that you please give back by using the yellow box so that the supply can be replenished. The soldering irons are kept up here on this shelf. Use caution when removing or replacing them so that the cords don't get tangled. This is a Morton System cutting surface. It's a really convenient and efficient system for production cutting of the same sizes and shapes of glass. There are a number of accessories available to use with this board, and certified studio members can use this once they've been shown how to do so by a studio lead. We have a light table available for tracing patterns. The switch to turn on the table is located right under here. And this is where we keep the flux. We use it sparingly, 1 squirt at a time. We have shot glasses here for you to dispense the flux into. We never put flux back in the bottle once it's been used. Flux is disposed of by blotting with a paper towel in the shot glass and disposing of that, and then rinsing out the shot glass when you're done. There is black patina available for darkening your zinc and lead. We also use it sparingly and dispose of it correctly, as you'll be shown during your certification class. Patina, like flux, is a consumable and gets used up. So we ask that you give back when you can through the bright yellow box so that we can replenish the supply. These drawers are labeled with different supplies which you may find that you need while working in the studio. These are the Homosote project boards that you'll use to begin your project. The pins for affixing your pattern to the boards are found right over here next to the cutters. These boards will absorb liquids, so you want to use caution to avoid spilling anything on them. Hot solder will not stick to them, fortunately. Always do your work directly on a project board and never right on the Homosote surface of the main work table. This rack has shelves for storing your project. You can store one project at a time, up to 90 days. We ask that each project be labeled and dated with your name. This is the mini chop saw and the mini table saw. They are used for cutting zinc cane only, never lead. You have to be shown after you're certified how to use these correctly. It's a separate skill share that you'll be shown by a lead of the studio. On these pegboards, you will find the measuring tools and the accessories that you'll need to make your project complete. Everything is very carefully individually labeled so you'll know where to find it and where to put it back when you're done. All the necessary glass breaking tools are on this pegboard, including running pliers, grozers, and breaking pliers. In addition, there are double-wheeled nippers for use in mosaic work. Also, in this bin, we have a variety of pliers and wire working tools that you may need to complete your project. In this part of the bin, we also have aluminum layout blocks which you'll use on your Homosote project board during setup. Let's talk for a minute about lead disposal. The disposal of lead is serious business and it is never thrown in the trash. You'll always take your scraps of lead and deposit them in this jar here. Small fans are located on the upper shelves on both sides of the room. You may wish to use them when you're soldering for additional air circulation. On this low shelf are boxes used to save pieces of small scrap glass that we use in mosaics and other projects. Anyone is encouraged to use them at any time. Access to this orange cabinet is restricted and is limited to use by studio leads only. The main work table also has a soft Homosote surface. No drinks are permitted on the table, and when you're soldering, always make sure you use a silicone mat to avoid damage to the surface. Avoid scratching or gouging the soft Homosote surface as well. As you're working at the table, you're going to want to clean it off frequently to avoid getting glass shards in your hands. To brush off the table, you'll find a dustpan, a brush, and a small bin located under the table at both ends. Soldering irons are plugged into the electrical outlets located around the table. There are power strips mounted to the center legs on each side of the table and also at one end. Finally, around the corner in the electronics and tech lab is where we have our utility sink. This is where you'll wash your projects and make them shiny and beautiful. This is the utility sink adjacent to the stained glass studio where you'll wash out and clean your projects. Certification classes are for members only and are regularly scheduled. To find out when the next certification class for the glass studio is, just check this sign on the big orange cabinet or go to the members only resource area on the sparkmakerspace.org website. And check your email as it is emailed regularly to our members. If you have any questions or problems related to the studio, please email them to stainedglass@sparkmakerspace.org and we will respond. We encourage members to report any problems with equipment or supplies in the studio to the studio lead as soon as possible. Please reach out and keep us informed, as we want all users of the space to be heard and to help contribute to the studio and make it the best place it can be.